Catherine studies successful and failed attempts at communicating plans for metropolitan development, thereby analyzing how we discuss and study walking, shopping, crime, service, pollution, traffic, civic ceremony, and housing. Catherine maintains a recently launched professional blog, A Soapbox for This Inexact Science, at woolardic.wordpress.com. And Catherine will be presenting Utopia / Dystopia, Top Dogs, and Slumdogs.
First, thank you, Ryan, for the wonderful welcome. And also thanks to the New York University Graduate English Organization for putting on this event. And thank you to Greg and Ben for sharing this panel with me. Greg, I thought my paper was going to be racy, but you had outdone me. And Ben, I dragged my boyfriend here to this event, and I think that he thought it would be a terribly disappointing event until he heard the words fall out. So, and also I want to apologize up front for some of the Indian names I will be pronouncing. I did my best to see how they were pronounced online, but I feel I have failed in some of them. And also some of the Hindi words that I will be using. I believe I may fail them as well. And also I want to ask really quickly, who has seen the movie Slumdog? Okay, good. All right, I'll begin my paper now. My paper is called Utopia, Dystopia, Top Dogs, and Slumdogs. Slumdog Millionaire and its Hindi version, Slumdog Koripati, is a 2008 British drama directed by Danny Boyle, an adaptation of the Brooke Prize-winning and Commonwealth Writers' Prize-nominated novel Q&A from 2005 by Indian author and diplomat Vikas Shwara. Slumdog Millionaire was set and filmed in India and tells the story of a young man from the slums of Mumbai who appears on the Indian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When the protagonist exceeds people's expectations, he arouses the suspicion of the game show's host and law enforcement officials. Slumdog Millionaire initially had a limited opening in North America on November 12, 2008 by Fox Searchlight Pictures and Warner Brothers Pictures. It later had a nationwide grand release in the United Kingdom on January 9, 2009 and in the United States on January 23rd. It premiered last in Mumbai on January 22, 2009. Slumdog Millionaire was nominated for 10 Academy Awards and won 8, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. The film also won 4 Golden Globe Awards. Despite its worldwide success, Slumdog Millionaire has become the subject of controversy concerning its portrayal of Indian Hinduism and the welfare of its child actors. Some Indians have taken to the streets to protest the film. There has been a recent uproar in India and among Indians living abroad who find the word slumdog in the movie's title to be an insult to real slum dwellers. In recent months, these inhabitants, including children, organized by the activists like Tashwiwar Vishwakarma, have led protests with placards that read, "Don't call us dogs, and I am not a slumdog." Mr. Vishwakarma claims that referring to people in the slums as dogs has violated their human rights. He's even filed a lawsuit demanding that the title of the movie be changed. The rags to riches romance has been called poverty porn because of its voyeuristic nature. In a January 14th review, the London Times columnist Alice Miles said that this feel-good movie is vile because unlike other Boyle films such as Transpotting and Shallow Grave, which revel in the fantastical comic violence, Slumdog is about children, and is not set in the West but in the slums of the Third World. As the film revels in violence, degradation, and horror, it invites you to enjoy in it too. The phrase poverty porn has spread throughout the Indian media as commentators nod in agreement with Miles. My paper will unwrap the phrase poverty porn by comparing the term to other forms of voyeurism, including slum tourism. I will discuss the film, unpacking the rationale behind the title change, and finally I'll explore the glowing light the British film casts on this very poor section of Mumbai society by ignoring India's recent economic prosperity, thus highlighting the interchangeably utopian dystopian nature of slums. To begin, we must unpack the term slumdog, defining the term in contrast with the slang or I-dialect word dog, spelled D-A-W-G. The online Urban Dictionary, which I hold to be very similar to the Oxford Dictionary, the online Urban Dictionary defines dog, D-A-W-G, as a term to identify someone you would usually hang out with or a close friend. The same for homie, homeboy, or homes. The term dog was started in Mexican-American communities, but most of the urban terms like dog, homie, and homeboy, etc. are given credit to the Black or African-American community. The slang term dog was originally and most commonly used in Spanish, which is perro, but the Mexican-Americans later started using it in English. It's important to note that an artist named Rajani, a native of Richmond, Virginia, who was classically trained at the Indian School of Music, has popularized a song inspired by the film entitled Slum, D-A-W-G, Dog. Moreover, many fans intentionally or unintentionally use the terms D-O-G and D-A-W-D interchangeably to describe the film. Rajani's song does not, however, appear on the soundtrack to Slumdog Millionaire, and the spelling D-A-W-G is not employed in the film's official advertising campaign. While it might be convenient to substitute D-A-W-G for D-O-G, given the more friendly definition, the intentional spelling of D-O-G must be acknowledged. Moreover, the Mexican-American/African-American slant of the term D-A-W-G does not mesh with the British origin and Indian subject matter of the film. For the purpose of this paper, given the evidence we've just discussed, we will evoke the meaning associated with the spelling D-O-G, the common name for the Canis lupus familiaris, or the domestic dog. One can understand where the unhappiness over this title comes from. In Indian culture, the dog, or kutte, in Hindi, has been deemed a derogatory for centuries. It's often used in excessive rants by Bollywood villains. The disambiguated form of the word dog, however, given the prefix slum, likely refers to an underdog or a person or group in competition who is popularly expected to lose. In rare cases where the underdog wins, the outcome is called an upset. Slumdog Millionaire is a film about an upset on a trivia game show. In a broader sense, underdog is used in reference to a social and ethnic group which experiences discrimination, prosecution, and economic disability, and which could therefore gain sympathy of public opinion either nationally or worldwide. Such sympathy has often proved of cultural importance in the struggles of national liberation, civil rights, and social justice movements, and such movements sometimes signify or significantly modify their tactics and strategy in order to gain underdog sympathy. For example, John McCain, Barack Obama, and Hillary Clinton all sought underdog status, often arguing amongst themselves who was the true underdog to evoke underdog sympathy during the 2008 U.S. presidential election. Although Miles rails against the film, through her rejection of the Slumdog title, she is employing the very same sympathetic technique by striving for social justice for children in the third world.